The stone is cold. The tomb is sealed. And a man who walked and talked and laughed just days ago now lies wrapped in linen, silent. His sisters, Mary and Martha, are shattered. Their brother Lazarus is dead. And Jesus? He's not here. He waited 2 days. And now, as the mourners wail and the dust settles on the grave, a question burns in every heart. Why would the one who heals the sick let his friend die? For days earlier, a messenger had raced from Bethany to find Jesus beyond the Jordan. Lord, the one you love is sick. It was an urgent plea from Mary and Martha. They knew Jesus had the power. They'd seen him heal strangers. Surely he would rush to save his dear friend. But Jesus' response was strange, almost unsettling. This sickness will not end in death. It is for God's glory. And then he stayed where he was for 2 more days. The disciples were confused. Why wait? In their minds, going back to Judea was dangerous. The religious leaders had just tried to stone Jesus there. But Jesus spoke of walking in the light and then said plainly, Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going to wake him. They took him literally, thinking sleep meant rest. So Jesus clarified with a word that cut through their denial. Lazarus is dead, and for your sake, I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. By the time Jesus arrived in Bethany, Lazarus had been in the tomb 4 days. The Jewish belief held that the soul lingered near the body for 3 days, but by the 4th, hope was utterly gone. Decay had set in. The finality of death was absolute. Martha, ever practical, ran out to meet Jesus on the road. Her words were a mix of faith and gentle accusation. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus looked at Martha and made a staggering promise. Your brother will rise again. Martha, steeped in Jewish hope, thought of the final resurrection at the last day. But Jesus was about to redefine everything. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? It was a direct, personal challenge, not a distant theological truth, but a present reality standing right in front of her. Martha's answer was a confession of faith that echoed Peter's. Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. Then she went to call her sister Mary, whispering, The teacher is here and is asking for you. Mary rose quickly and went to him, followed by the mourners who thought she was going to the tomb to weep. When Mary reached Jesus, she fell at his feet, sobbing the same words as Martha. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And then, the shortest verse in the Bible, but one of the most profound, Jesus wept. The Son of God, who knew he was about to raise Lazarus, did not stand aloof from human pain. He saw Mary weeping. He saw the mourners wailing, and he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. His tears were not for Lazarus. He knew the outcome, but for the devastation sin and death had wrought on his beloved creation. In that moment, the creator of the universe let his heart break with ours. Some in the crowd were moved. See how he loved him. But others, skeptical and bitter, muttered, Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? The question hung in the air like a taunt. If Jesus had the power, why the delay? Why the tears? Why the apparent failure? But Jesus, still deeply moved, walked toward the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. The finality of that stone represented every hopeless situation we face. Jesus gave a simple, shocking command. Take away the stone. Martha, ever practical, protested. But Lord, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days. The stench of death was a reality no one wanted to face. The stone was a barrier not just of rock, but of fear, disgust, and finality. But Jesus looked at her and said, Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? Faith required them to roll away the stone before they saw the miracle. With the stone removed, Jesus lifted his eyes to heaven and prayed. But it wasn't a plea. It was a declaration of thanks. Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. Every word was intentional. The miracle was not a display of raw power, but a revelation of his relationship with the Father and his mission to bring life. Then, with a loud voice, Jesus cried out, "Lazarus, come out." The voice that spoke the universe into existence now echoed into a tomb. It was a command that pierced the darkness, shattered the chains of death, and called a man by name. And then, movement. The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. He shuffled into the light, alive. The impossible had happened. The fourth-day corpse was breathing. Jesus gave one final command. Take off the grave clothes and let him go. The man who was dead was not just alive. He was free. The burial linens that bound him had to be removed by the community. And in that moment, many of the mourners believed in Jesus. But some went to the Pharisees, setting in motion the plot that would lead to the cross. Yet here, in Bethany, the truth was undeniable. Jesus is the resurrection and the life. Whatever tomb you are facing, grief, addiction, despair, his voice still calls you out. He weeps with you, and he has the power to bring life from death. Will you let him roll away the stone? If this story gave you hope, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear that death doesn't win. What did this story teach you? Share your answer in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to Echoes of the Covenant, and share it with someone who needs this message.